Hey guys, so today I am going to talk about the upcoming Republican debate. Now, a lot of you are probably like, oh, debates are boring. And yeah, you're right. For the vast majority of people, debates are boring, pointless things because they already know who they're going to vote for. And frankly, if you don't, usually the primary debates aren't going to help you because you wait for the general election anyway. So why watch a, debate now, The Republicans haven't even picked their candidate. Well, the easy reason for that is there really isn't one. Frankly, you're right. Debates aren't for that. But if you find debates interesting, you find them entertaining, if you find them informative, this is probably one of those to watch. There's, in comparison to all the rest of the debates, this one's probably got the most significance so far because we probably do have all the candidates we're going to get. Now, maybe Sarah Palin will jump in, but probably not. Okay? Now, the other aspect of it is that it is hosted by Politico, which, whether you like Politico or you don't, it's definitely not as favorable as Fox News or a number of the other agencies that have hosted Republican debates. So it's going to be interesting what kind of questions they throw at them. There's been some suspicion that Fox News threw a few softballs at the candidates, but you can judge for yourself. I think that it's also going to be interesting because this is the first debate where Romney's behind. Everybody acknowledges he is down by 10 points, 11 points on average now. If you do an average of all the credible polls, I guess you get to Romney's down by 11 to Perry. Perry's ahead by 11. That's huge. Now, this could all go south in this debate. This is when Perry's going to be at the most vulnerable because this is the first debate he's done in these circumstances. That's usually how it goes. First debates are always kind of rough. So we'll see how he does. He might actually do wonderful. We don't know. I think it's also going to be interesting to see what strategies these candidates use. If you're a Romney, did you just hit him? What do you hit him with? You know what I'm saying? Do you let him hang out there till there is something on him? There will be something on him. There's something on all candidates eventually. You know what I mean? So are you going to wait for something to come up and then use that to hit him? Or are you going to just swing at him now? Because right now he's when you get up 10 points ahead of another candidate, that's usually when you start swinging. And not little hits. You throw everything you got. And, the election is far enough away, Romney might not do that, though. So it'll be interesting to see Romney's reaction. Also, this is the first debate without Perry, which was, the moderate voice in the Republican Party, right? And the guy had no chance. He was dead on arrival. But if you like Perry, I don't care. He was dead on arrival, man. There was no chance that guy was going to win. So he's out of it. So it's going to be interesting because he was kind of one of those voices that was slowing down at the trip to the far right, if you want to put it that way, or further right. I shouldn't say stuff like that. But you know what I mean, is the general atmosphere is to drift further right. So we'll see without, old Teapot there, what's going to happen. It's definitely going to be fascinating to watch. And once again, if you do not find debates fascinating or entertaining or anything, don't watch it. There's no reason to. And if you're not going to vote for a Republican, frankly, my one suggestion is that you understand whatever candidate you're going to vote for in the obvious opponent one. But you should probably watch it if you want to be informed about the candidate, because now he's probably going to talk a lot more honestly about his proposals to Congress and stuff than he is in the general, because that's usually how candidates work, okay? So that's my suggestion. Or at least watch one of the debates, and this one seems like a good one to watch. But if you don't want to, I'm not your master. You can do whatever you want. It is going to be interesting because the economy should be the driving issue in this debate, because it's the driving issue in politics right now, and frankly, for most Americans. So it's going to be interesting. The foreign policy aspect of it will be interesting as well, because the last debate they kind of hammered Obama for Libya, But now Libya seems like it's working out, or at least that's the perception the media is trying to get, right? So it's going to be interesting how they paint Libya, paint Afghanistan and Iraq, and how they paint overall how they paint the Obama administration's foreign policy. Because you can debate whether it was good or bad, but definitely the media has been touting it as a positive. You know, he hasn't had major losses on a foreign level, at least through the mass media's perspective. That's what you get, right? Whether you agree with that or not. I think that's the image they're trying to show. Now, the other aspect of it is the collapse of Bachmann and what Bachmann's going to do. Bachmann's poll numbers peaked about 15%. Now she's down about half of that, roughly. So it's going to be, if she's going to try to swing out of that, trying to hit the opponent, try to use some sharp elbows and stuff, she's got to do it now because she's at half the support that she was when she peaked. Also, on average, she's behind Ron Paul. So every time you see a Bachmann story, if they're not covering Ron Paul, that might be a little biased there, because he's technically ahead if you average out these polls, which I think is incredible. That's crazy. Of Bachmann, not Romney and Perry. He's ahead of Bachmann. Anyway, he's ahead of he comes in third on this. That's incredible. If you would have told me that Ron Paul would have come in third on average, this close to the end, we got months to go, but this is, we're not, this isn't spring, 07 or something, you know what I mean? This is actually, we're kind of getting to the point where these polls they're not concrete, something shit can happen, but you're definitely getting the projection of probably where the people are going to be. So it's interesting that he's at, if he's in third place overall. That's amazing to me. What else to talk about the debate? The candidates' reaction to the people that are asking the questions, the media, I predict will be pretty negative. Every time somebody goes negative on the media, it has big, crowd pleaser. So we'll see how the media reacts to that. Is going to be interesting because there's definitely a pattern growing out of these debates where, whichever candidate hits the media the hardest usually comes out ahead. Bachmann kind of hit the media a couple debates ago, and she evidently was doing good. And then this last time, Gingrich did the same. Of course, Gingrich's numbers didn't really improve from where they were. They're still pretty crappy. And frankly, unless a miracle happens, he's not going to win. Same with Huntsman. I think you see Huntsman's going on all these shows and everything to see if he's got traction. But usually, what do they say? A flame flickers the most violently before it goes out or something like that. Or a flame's burns brightest right before it goes out. There's some old crappy saying like that, whether it's true or not. And I think that that's kind of true about these campaigns. They usually try one last desperate swing before they completely just implode. So we'll see. He might stay in there, though, until New Hampshire. But if you look at the New Hampshire polls, I can't see him coming back at this point. He need a ground game by now. The other thing I'll mention about the debates is to remind people there are a lot more candidates running for office than the ones that you're going to see in the debate. Even though there's a lot of them, even though we're like at 8, there's tons and tons of other candidates. Now, a lot of these candidates are, kept out of the debate because, they don't have support. They're kind of crazy people, they're crazy old guys and stuff. And yeah, there's definitely people like that. But there's a lot of candidates that are frankly have some level of support. And they just aren't invited because media doesn't really want them there. Once you get up to 8 people, you'll notice they'll start Xing out people because 8 people is the practical number. I said most of this in a earlier video called Poll, and I think it's going to be interesting to see all these other candidates that are running that aren't getting the media coverage basically because they don't get coverage, they don't get money. Because they don't get money, they can't really hire a strong campaign, because they can't really hire a strong campaign. They don't have very much support. Then the media says, well, you don't have very much support, so you're not going to be in the debate. So it's kind of a vicious cycle for this, bottom tier, if you will. But having said that, these candidates, they definitely bring stuff to the debate. If you are a Republican person or somebody who's going to vote in the primary, I definitely suggest, all these mainstream, the mainstream 8, if you want to put it that way, check them out. But see if you like any of the other candidates the media's not really bringing up. You can find it on the internet fairly easily. But yeah, I don't want to give a plug to any particular one, because then I feel like I'd have to plug each of them, and I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do that. That's basically it. Now, if you want to watch the debate, once again, it's tomorrow. On the West Coast, it's like 5:30 on MSNBC, I believe. That's kind of crazy to like, because they always kind of badmouth MSNBC. And I think it's 8 p.m. I think it re-airs. But I think it airs that time for the East Coast. Like, let's see, 5. Yeah, it'd be 3 hours different. So if it's 5 on the West Coast, it'd be 8 on the East Coast. And then, you can figure out Mountain Time. I'm not going to go into that much detail. So it's definitely worth watching if you're into politics. If you're not, why the hell are you still watching this video? Anyway, subscribe, comment, rate. If you think I've said anything too outrageous, go ahead. And if you think this is a great video, post below. Have a great day. Bye.